How do you stay balanced using social media for your business and posting every day, and not get burned out with it? This is a question that one of my clients asked me, and it was such a good question that I want to answer it for you too. I have some bullet points that I wrote down just because I want to stay on track here. So if you see me looking down, that's why. So first of all, the first thing is I always start with my business and life alignment. Structure, plan, however you want to say that. So I'm always thinking about, like, what do I want my life to look like? What do I want my life to feel like? And really starting from that place, because the business, whatever you do in your business, you want it to fit within the business and life alignment. I know we're sort of going backwards a little bit, but sometimes we got to go back to go forward. Because if you just decide to jump in on social media, that's fine. But if you don't have a strategy and a plan for what you're doing and where you're going, it's just not as effective. I want to know, like, how many hours do I want to work? How much money do I want to make? All of those things, because that's going to factor in on time I'm willing to spend doing social media and posting and all of those things. I always have people from there create their sort of like year-long, 12-month promotional calendar. And on that, it means it's looking at, like, what are my offers? What are the things I'm selling? What are the things I'm doing? When am I taking vacation? All of that. And it really factors all of that into any social media, because anything you do on social media is promotion of some kind, typically. Whether you're, posting for connection or behind the scenes or whatever, anything that you do on social media as a business owner strategically should relate back to the business in some way, even if you're an influencer, right? There's like reasons that you post. So that leads me to my second thing, or the next thing, which is, after you have your promotional calendar for the year, then you want to take a step back and do what I call strategic visibility. But essentially what you're doing is you're making a content creation plan. But the reason I call it strategic visibility is because I see so many people showing up on social media without strategy. And that's just a losing game. In my program, I always teach all of this stuff in depth, and of course, I walk beside people as they create their all of these things, and I help you do it. Because there's a lot to it, and there's a lot of steps involved. But once you do this work, that is what makes posting on social media so much easier. Because essentially it is getting rid of the question. Once you really have a strategy and your content plan mapped out, you really have, it takes away the question, what do I post? And there's so much mental labor in what do I post today? Okay, and then that leads me to part of the content creation plan. First of all, you want it to flow in a way that works with how you work creatively. So you can create that in there. But I often repurpose content. So I try to make my content as timeless as possible, meaning, for the most part, I don't say like the date that I'm doing it or, whatever it is. Anything that might make it look dated, I try to kind of keep that out so that I can repurpose old content anytime that I want to repurpose it. If I'm having a moment of time where I'm not feeling as creative or as inspired, I can go back, 3 months ago and post something from 3 months ago and still have content. So in the content creation plan that I teach, it's really about posting really powerful content, at least one time a day. Other people are saying, we'll say like, you need to post like 3 times a day or whatever. That absolutely leads to total burnout. And I know the algorithm wants you to do that, but the algorithm is its own sort of monster that is never full. And so if you don't find a way to do social media in a way that works for you and your life, then of course you're going to get burned out. So the next thing is that it's okay to take breaks. I won't say never, but I rarely post on the weekends. I don't want to. I want to be kind of in the moment. So if I'm doing something really fun and I want to share that experience in my stories or something like that on Instagram, then I do that. But if I don't want to, then I don't do it. So those are all my tips for how to not burn out on doing social media and still stay consistent with it. I definitely think, again, it takes some legwork up front. It takes a few hours of work to really kind of like do the high level work to map these things out. But once you do that, posting on social media becomes so much easier. So if you want to learn how to do it, give me a follow and or let me know, and I'll direct you to the right places.